So guys, today I'm going to be making a video pretty much talking about how to set up a first steroid cycle for those of you who are too lazy to do research. You're going to want a testosterone base regardless of what you run. Some people start off with prohormone, some people just do testosterone, they'll do test-debol, test-anavar, anavar solo, and some people might jump into a cycle that's a little bit too heavy for them. Like some people might start off with like Masteron or Tren. That's not recommended. Run a basic cycle first. Your androgen receptors are fresh. You're going to get great results, and you'll start to get accustomed to the side effects a little bit. If you've never experienced it and you jump straight into like Trenbolone, you're like, chances are you're going to hate it. You're going to get fucked up, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably quit your cycle early unless you have a lot of like self-control and yeah, text message. I personally started with a prohormone, and I'll start off by talking about that first. If you're going to run a prohormone, the compound does not aromatize, which means you're not going to need an anti-estrogen. An anti-estrogen includes letrozole, arimacin, or arimidex. You're going to need one of the three, and I probably wouldn't run a letrozole unless you start getting a gyno, because it's the strongest AI there is, and chances are you'll probably crash your estrogen if you do that. So I would stick to arimacin or arimidex if you're going to run a compound that aromatizes, but like I said, a pH doesn't, so you don't need that. pHs are generally run for like 6 weeks, depending on what you run, but generally it's like 6 weeks followed by like 4 weeks of PCT. Now for PCT, you can either do 3 things. There's Torum, there's Clomid, or there's Nolvadex. And I would say you should at least run it for a month to get your testosterone, your HPTA, and all that shit going back to normal ranges. If you're going to run testosterone, then you're going to need an AI. Like I mentioned before, those 3 things, you can choose any of those, but I probably wouldn't pick Letro. But you're going to need an AI because testosterone aromatizes, meaning it converts to estrogen, and using an AI will help keep your estrogen in control, prevent gyno, and it'll also help the bloat too, because you will be retaining some water weight, and using an AI will help reduce the bloat you get. If you're going to run testosterone, I recommend, I mean, it depends on the ester, but for example, like Test-D, you should run that for like 12 weeks, 500 milligrams a week. It'll probably kick in around week 5 or 6. Test Prop is a shorter ester. You could do 100 milligrams every other day, 150 milligrams every other day. It really just depends on how you want to dose it. But I wouldn't start too high on the dosage for the first cycle. If you choose to run Test and Debol, again, both of those compounds aromatize, so you'll probably get more of a bloat. You might need more of an AI, like a higher dosage, just to keep everything in control. You shouldn't start too heavy on your first cycle, and there's a few compounds that can cause prolactation. The 2 that I know of, I'm not sure if there's more, but I know Deca and Trenbolone both cause prolactation. So if you are going to run those, and again, you should not run those for a first cycle, but you're going to need either Caber or Prami, which is like Pramidex, which is an anti-lactation, to help keep your E2 in control. And it also helps with sex drive a bit. Deca and Tren really like kill your sex drive, so it's also recommended if you do run those that you stack testosterone with it. You should always PCT after your cycle to get your HPTA back in check, your balls, your sex drive, and you should also get blood work done. Usually if your sex drive comes back after your cycle, most of the time you're good to go, but it's not 100% certain. So you should at least go to a doctor, get blood work, get your lipids checked, your cholesterol, blood pressure, like everything. Pretty much that. Shout out to Shane Hunt. He's 15-year-old powerlifter, and that dude is strong as shit.